We've all been fascinated by recent popular uprisings in Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, Iran, Yemen, elsewhere. I think that the courage and determination of the people, these countries, in overcoming generations of fear and anxiety and apathy is extraordinary. It's inspiring, but it also raises the question, what comes next? And in fact, in many ways, it's hard to see how the government of Iran doesn't come out stronger as a result of all this upheaval, and that concerns everybody here. I think the U.S. should be a strong voice for people living under repressive, corrupt regimes who are demanding the freedoms we often take for granted, the support we need in countering terrorism around the world. We're seeing the power of Internet, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media. We saw how the Mubarak regime tried to silence it and failed. We know how Iran rulers are cracking down on it.
We have joined the Libyan people in demanding that Colonel Gaddafi must go now without further violence or delay. And we are working to translate the world's outrage into actions and results. Marathon diplomacy at the United Nations and with our allies has yielded quick, aggressive steps to pressure and isolate Libya's leaders. We welcomed yesterday's decision to suspend Libya from the Human Rights Council, as I had urged a day earlier. USAID is focused on Libya's food and medical supplies and is dispatching 2 expert humanitarian teams to help those fleeing the violence into Tunisia and Egypt. Our combatant commands are positioning assets to prepare to support these critical civilian missions. And we are taking no option off the table so long as the Libyan government continues to turn its guns on its own people. The entire region is changing, and a strong strategic American response will be essential. In the years ahead, Libya could become a peaceful democracy, or it could face a protracted civil war, or it could fall into chaos. The stakes are high. This is an unfolding example of using the combined assets of diplomacy, development, and defense to protect our interests and advance our values. This integrated approach is not just how we respond to the crisis of the moment. It is the most effective and most cost-effective way to sustain and advance our security interests across the world. And it is only possible with a budget that supports all the tools in our national security arsenal. Now, I agree that the American people today are justifiably concerned about our national debt. But I also believe that we have an opportunity as well as an obligation to make decisions today that will keep us safer and more secure and more prosperous into the future.
If we were not involved in Egypt for 30 years with their army, God knows what would have happened. And that is not popular to talk about on the stump, but it is a reality of the world in which we live in. How we help the Libyan people, the Tunisian people, will matter, because if we don't help them, somebody else will.
I agree with you that the region from, Morocco to Bahrain is in a transformational period of change. We have a lot at stake in what happens there, and we particularly want to be influential in whatever transition occurs in Tunisia and Egypt. But we got to keep our eye on all the other moving parts too, because we have energy needs, for example. We have Iran trying to fill the void with their narrative. So I think this is an area of great peril, but great potential, and I will certainly try to work with the committee to figure out how we can meet the needs there. But I also have a responsibility to make sure that while we're focused there, we're not leaving Sudan to crumble into becoming a huge Somalia. So, it's a constant evaluation, but we'll certainly work closely with this committee to try to get to the best possible outcome.
Now, is it possible that Muammar Gaddafi could be tried for murder if captured? And would that be something that we could pursue? We said that Megrahi was the perpetrator, but he got instructions from the top.
The United States was very adamantly opposed to the release of Megrahi, and we have a pending investigation in the United States District Court in the District of Columbia of the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. So we have reached out to our colleagues in the FBI and the Department of Justice because they have the lead, as you know, in this, but urging them to evaluate any and all information for its potential use as evidence.